And we are here and we are live. And Carolyn's a trooper. She got in here. I think you must have had some help from your hubs as well, did you?
Yeah, that was him hanging over.
That was him hanging on. Well, Carolyn, I can't tell you how happy I am to finally meet you face to face.
Yeah, I
And
know.
yeah, and I
We've
appreciate you
spoken so
being a
many
member.
times.
I know, it's wonderful. You've had some great readings too. You just had a really wonderful reading from Fernie the other day, which really
Yeah,
made me excited. That was exciting. I thought it was exciting. That's really awesome.
it was.
Yeah. So um, I was on a show with, I think it was Deb Zacco, and
Mhm.
that's when you came into the chat and we kind of met each other there. And you
Yeah.
were telling me at the time that you come from a family of people that
Hmm.
have worked with ghosts. And I thought, what a great thing to talk about. So that's why we're here today. And a lot of people have got the popcorn. They've got their popcorn and they're just
Oh,
waiting to hear all about
okay. Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to scare anybody.
No, no. I think most of them here have either seen them themselves or know they are around. And I know there's probably some disparate entities out there that aren't the greatest, but there's also a lot of benevolent souls and some lost
Hmm.
souls out there. Yeah. So we'll get to that. I want to talk before we do that. I'd love to be able to talk to you about you know your life and what brought you to that and so on and so forth, but I'm going to say hello to some of the folks that are here, like I do all the
Oh.
time on my show. So here we
Hmm.
go. I want to say hello to let's see, we have Amanda was the first one here, and then Pierrette is here and she said, what spooky adventures will we hear about? I love that. And Diana is here. And we have oh yes, and is it Mabon or Mabon, Diana? It's the solstice, the no, the equinox, the autumnal equinox, Celtic version is what that is. So we have Sherry and we have
Sure.
Janet. Sherry, you probably recognize all these names.
Yeah.
We have Mary Thornberry's here, and
All
thank you,
right.
Mary. And we have Arlene Forney coming to us. And we
Oh.
have Book Bewitched. Book
Oh.
Bewitched, I hope you got a hold of Juno. She was asking about some of the jin jitsu yesterday. I hope you were able to get that situated. So, and then we have Linda Thompson here, and we get Craig Dixon, and we have Froxy Roxy,
All right.
and we have a lot of people here today. We have Wiki here. We have Flora D here. Hi, Flora. Haven't seen you in a while. That's awesome to see you. I think I just missed a whole bunch of people. Hold on. Karen Johnson and oh, it's Ma Bone. Okay. Craig already has a question, so let's bookmark that, and then we have Wiki is here. I think I said that already. If I did, I
Mm-hmm.
apologize. So if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I'm trying to look at everybody here, and I'm sorry we were just a little bit late. But of course, it was my computer that couldn't hear Carolyn at first, and so anyway, we're really happy that you're here. So
Oh,
thank you for
glad to
being here.
be
So
here.
thank you. Yes. Hello, a light worker. It's nice to see you as well. So Carolyn, um, did you grow up? How was your upbringing? Was it one that this was discussed widely in your family? Is that kind of how this all started for you when you were younger? The
Well,
Ghostbusting.
things always happened around, no matter what
Oh,
house we moved into.
okay.
Doors would open. You know, they my family would see people and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Wow.
and when I was um, about 8 years old, a woman, my mother always came in every night to check on us, you know, in the middle of the night. And so, yeah, she said, go back to sleep. Okay, all right. Yeah, and about 5 minutes later, my mother came into the bedroom and said, "You're right." I said, what are you doing? You were just here. I wasn't just here.
Oh.
Okay. That was the first thing I remember.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
You know, and then let's see, my grandfather, he well, it was May 29th. I know that because that's my sister's birthday.
Okay.
My dad came and got us out of school. And I thought, oh, a party. Okay, we're going to have a party. You know, and we got home and my mom was sitting on the couch. And I looked at her and I said, Grandpa's dead. And she said, yeah, how did you know? I said, I don't know. I just knew it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So you had not only ghostly experience, it sounds like you had premonitions, and it sounds like you had precognitions. If you heard your mom,
yes.
and then she came in.
In one case, my parents took us down to see Bobby Kennedy.
Oh.
And we were right up next to the car. And people were jamming up against the car. And he grabbed our hands and he said, hold on. And he made the crowd go back and he pulled us up because we were going under the car.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he pulled. Yeah. So he saved our lives, really. And this was in Los Angeles. And a little while later, on the end of the bed, and I said to my sister, they killed Bobby. She said, do you have the radio on? And I said, no. She said, well, how do you know? I said, I don't know. I just know they've killed Bobby. The phone went. My mom came in and said, they've shot Bobby.
Now,
so,
how far from when he held your hands and then you found out about it, was it in that same time frame? Days. Okay.
Yeah. Days.
Okay. Wow, Carolyn.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And now I find out that I'm related to him.
I know.
So,
yes. Yeah. Well, very interesting that Carolyn found out and just told us in the chat on another show that she found out she was related not only to the Kennedys, but also to Marilyn Monroe. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you do some kind of a search, like an ancestry thing that made you aware of this, or how did you know?
That, and there's a book out about one branch of my family.
Okay.
That goes all the way back to Scotland and way back.
Okay.
And in that line is John Fitzgerald Kennedy. We're direct to John.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wow.
Not, so Bobby would be a cousin, but our direct line is through John.
Okay.
The president.
Oh, wow. It's just amazing. It's amazing to me. And
my sister.
Yeah. On the show the other day, when she asked about a past life, Fernie told her she was worked on the Underground Railroad, and you mentioned that, and that you may have had some African American lineage. Didn't he say that? I think he did. African American lineage. Are you aware of that at all, or were you aware of any of that?
No, that hasn't shown up. My DNA doesn't show it.
Okay.
But it's not going to show past life DNA.
That's very true. Yes. Yeah. No, I get it.
By the way, you might want to. But
Uh-huh. Yeah. But you did have a past life,
yeah,
I'm sorry, you did have a relative, Lucretia Mott, who was a suffragette, wasn't she? Was she? Yeah, she was a suffragette and
suffragette and abolitionist.
an abolitionist,
And
and also
she has
you.
3 statues in the
Okay.
Capitol.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Her as a suffragette with the other 2 suffragettes.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
then one with Frederick Douglass.
Okay.
And then there's a bust of her. Yeah, and she's a Mott. And my grandmother, my great grandmother, was a Mott.
Wow. That's just amazing to me.
And it's up that line.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well,
It's
you don't know this, but after the show, I talked to Fernie and I was asking him some questions about myself. And he was telling me that I apparently was a male in the 1890s that was a gay male, and that I was a dressmaker and a shoemaker, and also worked with the suffragettes. And I thought maybe that's our connection.
It could be.
Isn't that crazy? I know, because I really do believe in that stuff. I do believe in that kind of yeah. Wow. So
family connection.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not real proud of it, but I have to say that Benedict Arnold was one of my cousins. So it's not.
Well, he was a good guy for a while.
He was a good guy for a while, actually. But and history is always more difficult on people that sometimes it's too easy on them, and sometimes it's too hard on them. So yeah, I agree with you.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Well, so all right. So you grew up, and this was normal for you. Was it normal for your sister as well, or it was okay. Normal that you had these premonitions. Normal that you heard these voices or other things like okay. So
yeah.
How far back did the ghost work go? How far back was that?
Well, I can't say it's ghost work.
Okay.
Quite the opposite, probably. But Salem, Massachusetts.
Okay. So it's more of the yeah. Okay. Yeah. Salem, Massachusetts.
Mary Sibley was my 10th great grandmother, and she was one of the accusers. So this is what she gets.
Okay. I get you. So what is it my mistake that you did not go into homes and do find ghosts? Or
oh yes.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I didn't want to misrepresent you. I'm sorry. Okay.
Group,
yeah.
No, the group we belonged to in England, what had happened was we had gone to Shakespeare's daughter's house.
Okay.
And just on a holiday. Yeah. And we there was like 6 people. It was a cold, rainy day, and there's like 6 people in the whole building. And we had gone through one of the bedrooms, and I took a picture of everybody, my sister and everybody that was there. And there's the little girl in a very pink little dress sitting there with her Victorian cone candy.
Okay.
And her Victorian shoes. Just sitting there. And the way she was dressed, you knew it was no. But I had stepped back to the bedroom because there was nobody there, which is how I like to take pictures. And when we got home, there's a reflection of a man in a suit. Yeah, it looks like a tuxedo. Yeah, in the mirror that's sitting on the table. And my friend who took care of the Shakespeare houses, she checked with the staff, and they said no, there was nobody like that here that day. Okay. Yeah, so it was confirmed by the Shakespeare society that,
Right.
you know,
That it
was
wasn't somebody
truly,
dressed up like a actor or something. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. And
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
then I put it online, and this group called Haunted Britain Investigations called and said, would you be interested in, meeting?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, because I'd like to know what in the heck's going on in my life. Why have I
Sure.
always had this? How did it happen? And
Uh-huh.
that's when we did a lot of investigations.
Okay.
We got into, my husband was a beadle for the Pewters
Oh,
livery
really?
company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
And we knew all the beadles for the different
Yes.
livery companies. And
Right.
so we got into and do investigations that nobody has ever gotten into. And it's in the book, The
Okay.
Ghost Chaser Chronicles by Haunted Britain Investigations. And they're still together on YouTube.
Oh. Okay. So I'm writing this down. The Ghost Chaser Chronicles by the
My
London.
husband, yeah, they're,
Oh, he's got the book.
he's, I just happen to have a copy of it.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome. And it's by the British
The Haunted Britain
Haunted Britain.
Investigation.
Haunted
Yeah,
Britain.
Paul King, Gemma Bradley Stevenson, who is now Gemma Davies,
Okay.
and Brian Saunders.
Oh, I spelled it. I spelled the words wrong here, guys, because my N keeps getting stuck. But yeah, it's by the Haunted Britain Investigations. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
my
that is so
husband's
cool.
looking for
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's published by Barnes and Noble, New York.
Oh, okay.
And
Barnes and Noble book.
into
Now, are we going to see your face in there? Are we going to see you in there doing something?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Let's see. This painting.
Oh. I know it's hard to figure out where to do it. Turn it the other way. There you go. There you go. The one that's up at the top, or the one at the bottom? Which one, Carolyn?
At the bottom. That's
the
Henry
bottom
VIII with the bar and surgeon.
Oh.
That's
okay.
That's in their hall. It's a whole.
Wow.
And it moves. The people in it move.
It moved while you were there. It moved. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And that's me. There.
Oh.
Sitting.
Okay.
An orb. I'm looking at an orb.
I can see it from here, even though it's not 100% clear. I can see a round thing there. Wow.
Ooh.
That is really awesome. Wow. Thank you.
No. But anyway, I can't get this right and left.
This is the first time you've ever been on a YouTube video, so don't even feel you're doing very, very well. I want you to feel comfortable.
Okay.
You're doing okay.
And this was a very interesting story. That's Gemma and myself.
Okay.
In the base of the barber surgeons. And there was a little boy by the name of Jimmy who had been hung at the age of 15 for stealing a loaf of bread. And his sister paced back and forth on the balcony trying to get to her brother. And so he took us to the basement, and his sister was waiting in the basement for him. And we got them together
Uh-huh.
and we released their souls.
Release them. So how long ago would you have said that probably happened to the boy? Like hundreds of years?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'd been
Okay.
1500s.
15. Oh my
Yeah.
Lord. So you're right, because you said it was Shakespearean at that time period. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. So they've been disembodied ghosts for all those years, just wanting to be with each other. That's so sad, but I'm so glad you were able to get them back together. And they moved on. They moved on.
They moved on.
They moved on.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, how fascinating is this? This is just wonderful. This is wonderful. It really is. I want to make sure that you guys all understand what Carolyn means by a beetle. And it isn't one of the Beatles, okay? It isn't like Paul, John, or Ringo.
It's BD.
Right, right.
BEAD.
It's like a
Mhm.
BEADLE, right? And it's
Mhm.
like a law enforcement. I mean, I've only heard of it in Oliver, where the
And my
beetle was
husband just passed me a note.
okay.
Constable.
Constable. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you guys knew, because it's a British thing, and I only knew for sure that it was something like that when I watched the play Oliver by
Do I have
Charles.
more, sir? Yeah.
Yes, sir. He asked the beetle. Yeah, he asked the beetle.
Yeah, yes, the Beetle.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. So let's see here. Haunted Britain Investigations. I'll have to check them out. They covered the Overton Bridge? Do you know anything about that? I don't know.
No,
Okay.
I don't. But they've covered so much since I left.
Okay. Okay.
And we did Nottingham Castle.
Oh, you did?
I was never told. I insisted on never being told where we were going.
Good.
Because I didn't want to.
You didn't want that prejudice. Yeah, to prejudice you.
Sure. Well, I didn't want anybody to say, well, you looked it up on the computer, you did this. And they wouldn't.
Right.
And I said, don't tell Peter, because I may pick it up for Peter.
Well, that's very true. So you are absolutely tuned in, tapped in to psychic. You just.
I start making notes right away, and I got Byron, and it was like, what has Byron got to do with where we're going? So that really threw me off.
Oh, sure.
I knew it was in the Nottingham area because we were going to be on Nottingham radio.
Okay.
So, but I didn't know it was the actual,
Yes.
Nottingham Castle.
Yes.
And that was totally amazing. I walked out front, and there's a bust of Byron.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now, how long did you live in England, Carolyn?
12 years.
Oh, 12 years. Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, everything over there is so much older than anything here. Just the idea of how far back, and so were you able to tap into Byron at all?
No. I tapped into if you watch, there's on you have to type it in on YouTube. It's called Richard and Judy's Ghost Hunt.
Okay.
Scream Fest. And there's 4 sections, and it shows me walking around and us going down the caves and everything below, and
yes,
the battlements there. I said that there was what they did was they took this whole family and just put a rope around the neck and over the battlements alive. And I said, well, there was 12, and the assistant curator says, no, there was only 10. And the curator walked up and said, she's right. There was 12. And
Wow.
I said, it's something to do with blood. And it was over the two clans fighting.
Yes, fighting. Yeah.
Yeah. And but I didn't know what, what the blood thing was. It was blood ties.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. So, Craig, Carolyn lives in Virginia now, and she actually lives in one of the oldest places in the United, I would say one of the older places in the United States that could be pretty good for ghost hunting, I would think. I mean, there aren't very many. I mean, you could go to Boston, you could go to a few other places, but where you live, there's a lot of history. In
Virginia. We used to live in Colonial Williamsburg.
Right.
And we lived in John Blair's house.
Oh my.
Is one of and Jefferson used to sit on the front steps with the girls and sing and and everything. And every night you'd hear voices down in the front room. And I thought, oh, why didn't I ever put a tape in there?
Yeah. But could other people hear it? I mean, I really do believe that there are people like yourself that can hear those things, and there are other people that they don't hear any of it. They're not tapped in like you are.
Well, my mom, she was taking a nap, and she woke up, and this lady was standing over her.
Oh my!
And and my mom is almost blind, and she was terrified.
Sure.
And I had to get her downstairs. She said, I got to go outside. And she says, I don't know who the lady was. So I printed out 6 pictures. One of Mrs. Blair, and the others were 5 other people of that period. And I said, okay, Mom, now what did she look like? And she said, that one. And it was Mrs. Blair.
Oh, it was. Wow. She probably was there saying, what are you doing in my house?
It was. One night she stopped me on the stairs. I was going down to the front room, and you could hear the voices. And she stood on the stairs, and she said, no, go back up. And all I can think of when they were talking revolution.
Sure.
I wasn't to hear it.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And
have you? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow.
There was one house that we lived in that this lieutenant kept coming by.
Okay.
So, he was Civil War.
Okay.
Union lieutenant. And he kept coming back and saying, save my men, save my men. And I'm like, okay. And then I could feel there was a soul catcher coming. And so I put a complete blanket over Colonial Williamsburg. And we went over there, and he took us over. We walked around to the back, and there was this big portal opened up. And I said, everyone, please go. And it was 20 minutes to a half an hour. There was men, women, children, all in different conditions and time periods, and they all left, and the lieutenant would not leave till the last one went through.
Everybody. That is fascinating. Carolyn, that's amazing. I mean, I've always heard there were these portals everywhere, but to see them and to see these people walking through them, it just brings me that whole idea that time is one big continuous sort of circle.
Loop.
and that
Yeah.
it's a loop that's happening all at the same time, right? Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness. That is fascinating. That's just fascinating. Now, Diana has lived in Virginia. She lived in Manassas. And
Mm.
she said, and she's very enthralled. She said the second Manassas battle was partially fought in her backyard. And she
Oh.
said it was haunted, but they loved her. Apparently, they just
Mm.
knew she was a simpatico person. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow. Uh-huh. That's amazing to me. And the Revolutionary War, she was 5 miles from Camp Washington, where his camp was in Fairfax. So,
Oh.
wow. Have you ever walked on any of the battlefields in like Pennsylvania as well?
In
Or,
England, I did.
oh, you did?
Or we'd be just driving down the road, and I'd say to Peter, "There's a battle over there, a skirmish, you know."
Yeah.
And he'd go,
Yeah.
"Well, that's such and such," and I'd never been
Okay.
there before.
Right.
You know,
Yep. Yeah. He
okay.
knew the area. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and or I would go by a tree, and I'd say, "It's a tree of justice," and
Oh,
it was a hanging tree. You
oh
know,
my
Peter would say,
goodness.
"Yep, that was a hanging tree." And one day we were
You,
walking by the
uh-huh.
canal, and I said, "Oh, I've never seen that castle before." You know, it was right near where we lived in Newbury.
Okay.
And we got around the bend, and there was no castle. And I said, "Where did the castle go?" And Peter said, "What castle? There hasn't been a castle there for 200 years." Oh,
I
okay.
notice you're still married. So Peter did believe you.
Oh, he's gifted almost as I am. He really
Uh-huh.
is.
I did. Yeah. That's really awesome
Yeah,
that you found each other. And
yeah.
yeah, that is just amazing to me. Um, were
What?
you ever frightened?
Yeah. If he sees things, he'll tell me about them, and I can
Okay.
tell him even more
Oh, wow.
names and
Uh-huh.
different things.
Wow. That's just, it's just so wonderful. I've not ever spoken with somebody that has seen the things that you have seen and done the things that you have done and has that evidential information. I mean, we may think we see something, or we may know the history of some place, but you've got like the evidence, and just the story alone of you getting those men and women and so forth through that portal. That just, I'm guessing that all those people then were able to move on. Did you get that feeling that there was closure, or do
Yeah,
you think they're
they
still
were.
going? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I made sure that the soul catcher wasn't going to get him.
Right. Right. Wow.
Yeah,
So
no.
explain to us what that means.
They
So the soul
really
catcher.
put they will put them in bondage and use their energy to do more evil work. And
Okay.
there was hundreds of people,
Uh-huh.
and he was coming for them.
It was coming
You
for him.
know,
Wow.
and it was
Oh my
like,
goodness.
"Oh no, you're not."
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
not gonna
Did you?
happen.
Yeah. Did you ever have a feeling of any time that of fear for yourself, or fear in the situation you found yourself in, or did you?
Um,
I don't know if that happened or not.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
same house.
Okay.
Um, I there was two closets, and one went completely black, moldy. And we
Uh
were
huh.
watching a program, and my
Uh huh.
arm got scratched, and it disappeared within seconds. Peter saw them, but they just disappeared as fast as they came.
Mm-hmm.
And then Peter was downstairs, and I was coming down the stairs, and something picked me up by the ankles,
Oh.
and I was holding on to the stair railing,
Yeah.
my feet straight up, which
Yeah.
anybody knows me, I can't do that. and he,
I wouldn't be able
whatever it
to
was, was trying to push me over.
Uh-huh.
And Peter came, got me, and he sent them on their way.
Wow.
Really fast.
Really fast.
And that's really the only time I think I've
The only
been
time
frightened.
you felt that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So we do have the free will. We do have the ability to send them packing, but we have to be okay. That's good to know. That's good to know.
And the best thing is, like, this doctor called me and said, I have a patient and he keeps hearing, his son keeps hearing footsteps on his roof,
Right.
over his bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I talked to the father and I said, what you need to do is go into that bedroom, say St. Michael's prayer, tell them, this is my home now. You will leave. You have no power here.
Right.
And he says, I'm going to do it right away. And he did it. That boy slept in that bedroom that night, and that doctor never heard from that boy again. He was all better.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. He sent him packing. Wow. I'm so fascinated by this. It's really wonderful, Carolyn. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So
my
Craig said,
sister, oddly,
go ahead.
bought the family farm in Vermont.
Okay.
And it was like 15 years before she found out that it belonged to our ancestors, the Monts.
No, there just are no, there are no, yeah, you can't make that up, you know? That's amazing. That's just amazing. Oh my goodness. Craig says, are you also a psychic medium? I would say yes, Craig. I would. Do you call yourself that too, Carolyn?
I'm an intuitive,
right?
Because psychic medium. You know, I'm just very in tune with.
You were very in tune. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. You know, a lot of people don't like to have a label. But from the things that you can see and do and have had happen to you, you know, it appears to me that you obviously have a very interesting and, you know, well funded gift, and you enjoy it. It sounds like. Have you ever had a situation you wanted to turn something off, or you've had, you know, feeling that you wish you didn't have this gift, maybe?
Sometimes, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
But my husband's trying to say what? Cemeteries. Oh, cemeteries. Yeah.
Okay. Peter, you can come in if you want, you know, you don't have to be hiding. I would love to see your face. It's fine. We love to have you. Yeah.
No.
Oh, well.
Hello. Yeah. I mean, you're part of this.
Radio.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem. So a cemetery is hard for you to walk through? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. We had this little girl follow us. She got in our car as we were leaving. And I said, stop the car.
Yeah.
Took her back to the gate and said, honey, you gotta stay here. Your mom and dad is here. You have to stay here. You can't follow me home. I'm sorry. You can't go home with me.
Right.
So I took her back to where her sleeping place was.
Mm-hmm.
Let her lay down again, and we left. But you have to say that before you leave the cemetery. You cannot follow me. You cannot go to my home. Yeah, you may not attach yourself to me.
To it, yeah.
As we like to say, Alan, if somebody's not been spoken to or seen anybody in 300 years, and they know you can see them and feel them, they latch on.
Sure they do. Oh yeah. Oh look, I got somebody here that can see me and feel me, and oh, it must be hard, especially for a little one. Yeah, for a little one. Wow. That's amazing.
I remember one day driving Carol to work when she worked at Colonial Williamson. Pittsburgh. We were going down the main street. And she said, oh, where are all these people going to? I said, oh, what people? She said, you can't see them. They're all going down the street, all dressed in 18th century clothes.
Oh.
And I could not see a thing. It worries me sometimes. I'd like to see some of the things that she sees.
Yeah.
Do feel things. And often I'll say to her, we've got a visitation, somebody's here. And then she'll pick up on what it is.
Yep.
And if I see something, for instance, I was cycling to work when we lived in England years ago. And I remember seeing this lady under a streetlight early morning coming towards me in a trench coat. Young lady. And as I got closer, near on the light, she wasn't there. So I just mentioned it to Carol that night, and she said yes, it was such and such, and she was killed in the bombing on Newbury. And often, if I've seen something, she'll be able to validate what I've seen, which is her.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I want Carolyn to mention about the Roman soldier.
Oh, the Roman soldier. Oh, I can't wait to hear this one, Carol.
Yeah. It started with a cigarette. I'll let Carolyn.
Okay.
It did?
Well, yes, when you saw him.
When was that?
Okay. When I was beadle of the Pewters Company, they've got a hall, but it's their second hall. It's on a very old site. Where it is right next to London Wall, and it's where the Roman cavalry barracks was back in the day. Okay. And the next layer up is medieval. There was a church on the same site, and there was a Victorian era. There was a tie factory. Well, this got bombed, and that comes to something else. But in the basement, Carol was down there having a quiet cigarette. This is a while ago, and she looked down, and she heard somebody came down the corridor, and as she looked down in the doorway, she saw a pair of sandals. And as she looked up, there was this Roman looking at her. She said he was a very handsome fella. He was looking at her. He smiled, turned around and walked away. Okay. So some months later, we were up in our flat because we lived on site, and Carol kept getting this message, and she said, somebody's trying to talk to me. She couldn't understand the language at all. So I got her to tell me what it was, and I wrote it down phonetically. It was Roman, it was Latin. Oh, so we called a friend of ours,
who was the skeptic of the group.
Yeah. He was with H. Was with H. And he said, the words that I got in particular, or Carol got, were Aqua Minerva. And what the Roman was trying to get us to do was to get a message to the garrison to go to the Temple of Minerva with water, aqua, to extinguish the flames. The temple did burn down in Roman times.
I don't speak Latin.
No. Brian knew Latin, and he was able to verify that's what this Roman was trying to tell us. Trying to tell Carol.
Trying to tell him, and I'm just rattling it off like I speak Latin,
Right. Wow, that's so fascinating. So some of the people are asking. Jay was saying about the girl and her family at the cemetery, but actually, even the Roman or even the general, what is their purpose? Is to stay around. It's like they have unfinished business. And they can't move on until that unfinished business is done?
Yeah, the lieutenant did. He was the head of all the wounded, both sides.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And he was not going to leave those men that died.
Correct.
There.
Okay.
Because it was during that time, it was the hospital. And they were in tents, and every once in a while I'd see them in the tents and stuff. I mean, a lot of times I don't know that it's not reenactors.
Oh, well, I would
You
imagine
know,
you would think
like
so. Yeah,
Hampton.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we went to Hampton Court, went into this long gallery, and everybody was absolutely sweating, and I'm freezing. Like I've got an air conditioner on me. Yeah, and he
Yeah.
was explaining this picture of Henry VIII and his family, that famous picture, and this woman comes running in and banging on this door, and she's screaming, "Henry, Henry, I need to talk to Henry, Henry." And two men came up and dragged her back. And I thought, oh, it's a reenactment.
It's a reenactment, yeah.
We didn't get, yeah. And then he went to the door and said, now, during this time, Catherine Howard banged on this door, and I went, uh-oh. It wasn't reenactors.
Yeah. That's, oh my goodness.
So sometimes you think they're real, and sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. That's
Sorry?
amazing. Now, do you have children?
Oh, the lady that followed him.
Mhm.
Pardon me?
Do you have children that
Pardon
have
me?
or any children? Yeah. Do you have children? Peter does.
Peter has.
Do they have the same gift? Do they have the same gifts?
They do
No.
see things.
They do see things. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it usually runs in families. That's why I asked the question. Yeah. And you said your sister. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's just amazing.
Yeah. The family talking in the, nobody's there for her, and she can hear the family talking.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
Early when we lived in Newbury, there were two battles there in the English Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Some 2 odd years apart from each other, and we lived at one time on the site of the second Battle of Newbury, and where we lived was where the horse lines were for cavalry.
Mm-hmm.
So Carolyn quite regularly would hear the horses, hear them stomping, hear the men talking around the fires, hear the clank of the harness and the rest of it.
Yeah.
And we'd hear a gunfire from local castle, Donington Castle. And quite often, Carol, I've got a nice picture of me in uniform, because I was in the Coldstream Guards for 25 years. I got this picture that sits above the mantle of me in uniform. Well, Carol, every now and again, would say, when I wasn't there, that this thing would morph into a Civil War type picture.
Oh,
and Carol quite often would, when she would look up at Donington Castle, which we could see from our house, it was up on the hill.
The ruins.
Yep.
It's a complete ruin because it was completely razed during a siege. Carol could see it in its glory as it was.
Yeah.
Done by Elizabeth I, and she could see it in all its glory. And it was, she said it was absolutely beautiful. It was all faced in white stone. So, yes, indeed. But we've had some fun in different places.
I would say you must. I was wondering if you were at a place and you overheard something that people wouldn't. That would be what I would be fascinated with. I overheard somebody say something, and in history, it would have been something that nobody knew the answer to because they hadn't been in the room, or you get my drift. The room where it happened, so to speak. And if you were in there, it must be really crazy.
There was one place that we were investigating, which was a late Victorian building, and it was in the basement of which, and we didn't know at all what had happened, the history of it. But during the Second World War, Hess.
Oh.
Rupert Hess.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was kept prisoner there for a while and interrogated.
Oh.
We didn't know that.
No.
And I don't think there's any written history of that either. But Carol picked him up being interrogated in that space. and that's lost to history.
Yeah, sure. So there's a primary example of that. Yeah. There are things that we just don't know about, or were never put in the history books, like you say. And I would imagine, I know my son, and my son is in no way somebody that picks up stuff. So I know that I've heard him say, and I've heard others say, that when they went to like Auschwitz or some of the camps, they couldn't stay very long. It was just horrible. It was like
no.
Yeah.
Just the thought of going, I know I couldn't go.
I don't blame you. I don't think I could either. Yeah, no.
I had a girlfriend who had numbers on her arm. And I said, why do you always wear long sleeves? And she rolled up her sleeve, and I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
And her fiance was killed the night before it ended. And the doctor took her out of, she had been raped and pregnant 9 times. And the doctor finally took her out and said, come work with me. Come at my house, be my maid, my wife. Yeah. And that's how she survived.
That's the only reason she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah. So Diva 369 says in the Chicago area, there's a ghost called Resurrection Mary or the Vanishing Hitchhiker. Do you have any insight about that? Do you know about that? Yeah.
I do. I've heard stories about Resurrection Mary. Yeah. I believe she's real. I can feel, you know, when I watch programs on her, I can actually feel her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I know the bending of the gates was somebody backing into him. You know, she didn't pull apart. And why does she need to pull apart? Okay, when she walked through it, you know. But she was a young girl that unfortunately got hit by a car, and she's still trying to get home.
She's still trying to get home. I mean, you hear so much of that. I just wonder to myself how many disparate or, you know, souls are out there that just are hoping for somebody like you to walk in to help them out and to let them, you know, have their freedom.
We belong to a group here. It's through television, but, you know, we're members of called Graveyard Shift. With Dale and Spratt, Ghost Brothers. And he does a box, you know, he has a spirit, what he calls a spirit
box, right.
And, yeah. And sometimes he'll just leave it and walk off and then listen later. And the other day he had left it in New Orleans on a pedestal in front of one of the things, and it got knocked off. Yeah, so it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know. And he does have 2 guides, I would imagine, Mary Ellen and Rosemary. And they come when they're needed, and they move them on.
Oh, okay. Wow. That is just, I know Susan Lynn, who is also on YouTube. She has sent a lot of people on. She's sent home a few children that she's had, and she also sent home a couple of people from New Orleans, because apparently there's an awful lot of crazy stuff in New Orleans. But I've never heard the things that you have said blow my mind. They really do. Because I mean the Roman soldier and the lady with the raincoat and especially the portal. Have you seen any other portals since then?
Feel them.
You can
feel them. I haven't seen any, but I can feel them. And never, ever, ever hang 2 mirrors across from each other.
Okay.
Because you will open a portal.
Okay. Okay. That's
So
very
if you have
interesting.
one on this wall, one on this wall, don't face them together
Don't do it.
because
Yeah.
you can open a portal.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can feel them
You can.
sometimes, not
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. So this question, why does a ghost become angry and have to be removed professionally? Have you ever heard of any of that before? Like maybe having
Usually,
somebody
if a ghost is,
exercise? Yeah.
yeah, usually if a ghost is angry, that's the way they died.
Oh,
They don't
okay.
change.
Okay.
If they're bad in life, they go
Mhm.
be bad
Okay.
ghost.
A bad
And
ghost.
you
Yeah.
act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. I get
Yeah.
it. That makes sense, actually. And we probably have seen some people in history that they're bad ghosts still, I'm sure. Yes, absolutely.
Gonna be a
Um,
bad ghost.
yeah. So KK says she was told she has an energy portal in her home. She wonders if she opened it or someone else opened it. If you can, you may not know her personally.
It was
Heard the
opened
answer.
by a previous family, and they were playing with a Ouija board.
Oh no.
To
So
play those things, not a
yeah.
game.
Well, back in the day, when I was a little girl on my 11th birthday, I wanted a Ouija board. My mother gave me one because it was a game. That was 1966. That was 1960. People bought them all the time. They didn't think anything of it.
Oh yeah.
But I do know that yes, there's probably a lot of craziness going on with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you never know who you're going to get. They may say they're this person, but
Right.
they may be this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right. You got to be very careful when you open yourself up to energies. You have to make sure you're protected and so forth.
yes.
So do you think it's positive in KK's case? Should she try to close it, or is there a way she can close it if she wants to?
Yeah, she can close it.
Okay.
She takes 2 white candles and places it in front of the portal.
Okay.
And say St. Michael's prayer.
Okay.
And tell them they have no power here.
Okay. Okay.
And close
it. All right. Well, that's good to know. You have the power, KK, if you want to. Yeah. 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 Wow. So Erin is saying she believes that some of our lands weren't meant to be inhabited, and we've likely lost most of the info with time. She earlier somebody had mentioned there was a lake that had been filled in, but under the lake there were people that had passed there, or there was previous people that had lived there, and and so that and I would say Native American land would be like that as well. You never really knew where sometimes where the burial grounds were. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And there have been towns which have been everybody had to move and they're underwater now.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And the graves are still in the water.
I believe that wholeheartedly. I have a belief also that there's whole cities underneath Antarctica because, of course, everything's shifted. And there's a lot under there that's buried very deeply that we don't know anything about. But if we don't take care of things, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything? Have you ever seen anything that was extraterrestrial?
Yes.
Okay.
Twice.
Okay.
When I was a kid, we saw a full round one at the end of our street. It was hovering.
I did too.
Had the red light below and the white lights around it. And it was just hovering there, We went, okay. Somebody called the Air Force.
Right.
We got visitors.
Yeah.
But when I was visiting Stonehenge one time, I saw it being built, and there were huts that all around it where people lived around it, and the stones were being lifted by energy from this spaceship. It was being lifted, and they were being placed, and they were told to fill the holes between the stones with sticks and wattle, and so that was all filled in with the exception of the door. And there was an altar in the center.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have their meetings there and that kind of thing. But the roundness of it was for the ship to land.
Makes sense.
Hover right above it. Yeah, and it was the same time I saw 3 crop circles, which had never seen them.
So you did when you lived in England? You saw some crop circles, did you?
Yeah. Three of them.
Three of them. Oh my goodness sakes! You're just. I could talk to you forever. I mean, this is so interesting. So Parrot says, and Parrot's got a lot of gifts. She said she was going to buy a spirit ball, but then she said she probably not. I live next to the cemetery. I'm a portal opener. And Dr. Gale, who is the UFO lady that's on here, closed them, and the one in the cemetery because of her light. And so it was a protective measure, I'm guessing. So, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not the dead you need to be afraid of.
Okay. That's good to know. Because, there are a lot of people that are afraid of seeing something, seeing a spirit, but I sense that you could probably send them away or ask them to leave like you did when you were talking about it.
Yeah.
Or you could talk to them if you wanted to, so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You find out why they're still here. Is there anything that you can do to help them, and to release them? Is your problem that you haven't been able to move on? And
right.
Can I help you with that?
Can I help you move on? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So Craig's had a little problem with a portal. He said he covered up the mirrors in my bedroom and the activity stopped. Craig, did you have them opposite each other? That may have been the problem. Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. All right. So, Ellen, you've never seen a ghost. I haven't either, but I certainly feel the energies, and I have seen a UFO. So I think everybody just has their own gifts that they're really good at doing, and maybe but it sounds to me as though you can develop them as Peter did. Would you stop it, please? After I've been on for an hour, my dog wants me to go.
All 4 of us are circling.
Surrounded by dogs. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got
You
one
gotta
behind.
All right. So we'll have one last question then. Quiet.
The smallest critter here.
Oh, what a cutie pie. Hello there. Oh, how cute. I have Shih Tzus, and they're cute, but they bug me all the time. Erin has a question.
I had one.
Did you? Yeah. I love them. I think they're just adorable.
My little rainbow.
Oh, wow. All right. So Erin says, what can we do to ensure that we don't end up stuck between realms? Any ideas?
It depends on what you're doing at the time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Firm belief system. Love yourself. If you know that there's something greater and you're going to go to something better. Well,
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It seems as though.
And
go ahead.
Talk to your archangels. Talk to your guides. Your ancestors. Watch over me. I'm going into a situation. Please protect me. say St.
Right.
Michael's protection.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that it's almost just that easy, I have a feeling, and it's the same with the near-death experiences that I've heard before. Some people will say, oh, I went to this place and it was burning and it was hell and it was this and it was that. And I'm thinking, you see what you believe in that case. And, if you believe
or
that
what you deserve,
or what you
think you deserve,
what you think you deserve,
what you think you deserve, not
correct.
what you
Because aren't we our
actually
own judge? We're really our own judges when it comes to it. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
oh my goodness. Well, I think probably would love. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Peter. I'm sorry.
Many believe that this is purgatory we're in now. So
I know.
we make our own
And
hell.
it feels like it right now.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah. That's why this is so important. These connections that we have, these collaborations, these discussions, and finding people of like mind and learning more about what they know, and just becoming more aware and raising up our vibrations. And so that's so beautiful. Yeah, wonderful, just wonderful. Hershey wonders if I have contact information. I don't think you have a channel. You don't have a YouTube channel.
I don't.
No.
Not yet. I'm
okay. Thinking about it?
Thinking about it. Thinking about it. I don't know what I do.
Ask your advice, Ali.
Okay. I'm here to help. I'm always here to help. Yeah. Gina says, come back on, Carolyn. Gina, that's here, she lives over in the UK. So yeah, I bet she's fascinated. And yeah, she's American, but she lives over there. And I think that she'd be interested to know some of these sites. That would be so much fun. And it's interesting that one of my favorite shows is Outlander, which she uses the time travel idea. And
yeah. I love Outlander. In fact, I told Peter, when I pass and go on, I want the theme tune from that.
The Skyboat song. The Skyboat song.
Skyboat, because I'm Scottish. So I want that.
Sure,
I want
you
that
do.
played.
It's a beautiful song. And do you know that this season that just, is like in the middle, Sinead O'Connor sang the Skyboat song. And of course she just passed. Yes. Isn't that fascinating? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, strange thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my. So yes, please come back, she says. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I think maybe it would be wonderful to have maybe more Q&A if you did come back. And since you can tap into, like you did with KK and the portal, you maybe, if people have an unusual question, you probably could give them some insight. So you're welcome to come back if you feel comfortable to do that anytime.
Oh, I could, absolutely. Yeah, I feel very comfortable.
Oh, good. And of course, we would love to have Peter as well, because he's just, it's wonderful to have a partner who understands what you love and what your gifts are, and I have a partner like that. And so I feel very fortunate. Took me a long time though. Took me 4 times to find that partner.
Oh yeah, he's my head.
Okay. But we finally find them, don't we?
Yeah.
And it was worth waiting somewhere.
Yeah.
Worth waiting.
Except my second husband, late husband, and I went to England on a trip, and we stopped by Wellington Barracks, and they were doing an inspection. And then, I filmed it and everything, and they were on their way to Buckingham Palace to do the changing of the guard and all that. And there in the picture is Peter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't think, oh, well, that's my next husband.
But you had a premonition again, sort of, in a way.
I must have done it.
You must have done
Yeah.
it. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Please stay after we say goodbye so I can chat with you. But thank you everybody for
Okay.
being here. And yes, we'll have Carolyn and Peter come back. And yeah, this was wonderful. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Be blessed. Be blessed.
Be blessed, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.